they are not, the owners of the livestock are not there. So they by the time they're reporting, they come and report, 2-3 days later about incidents, Mr. Speaker. Herding in isolation, again, there was an agreement that we need to herd in a particular organized group so that we can protect the people from that area. So those are some of the challenges that we face in this corner. On part 2, Mr. Speaker, a multi-agency team is executing Operation Maliza Uhalifu, which is a security initiative aimed at flushing out of bandits and dismantle criminal networks. The multi-agency security team have been able to conduct intensified patrols, surveillance, and quick reaction within the Meru Northern Grazing Zone, which have resulted in successful recovery of stolen livestock, as outlined below. The Speaker, I'll just mention a few incidents. Of 3rd August 2024, 41 heads of cattle were recovered. Mr. Speaker, on 14th August 2024, 40 heads of cattle were recovered. On 4th April 2025, 7 goats were recovered, and the areas are listed there. On 7th April 2025, this year, Mr. Speaker, 87 herds of cattle, 23 goats, and 6 donkeys, which had been stolen, were recovered. All of them, all the incidents that I've read, the recovery is 100%. On 13th of April 2025, bandits are raided a place in Amaya and Tala area in Mutwati and stole 120 herd of cattle, and they were all recovered. On 23rd of April 2025, Mr. Speaker, 23 herd of cattle were stolen at Ruanga, and 11 herd of cattle were recovered, and footprints, the rest were still being traced. 12 were still being sought. Mr. Speaker, whether the government will consider undertaking security operations, the government has launched coordinated multi-agency security operations, coded name Operation Furusha Wezi wa Mifugo, targeting Meru and Isiolo counties. The operation is specifically designed to combat banditry and livestock theft across northern grazing zones of Meru and the adjacent areas of Isiolo. Mr. Speaker, the multi-agency security team is comprised of 6 operational sector officers drawn from Kenya National Police Service, Administration Police Service, General Service Unit, Anti-Stock Theft Unit, Rapid Deployment Unit, Special Operations Groups, National Police Reserve, Directorate of Criminal Investigation, Crime Research and Intelligence Bureau, among others. Mr. Speaker, whether the government could also consider establishing multidisciplinary security operation bases. Mr. Speaker, the government has established a fully operational security base hosting personnel, including the ones I listed above. As part of the ongoing strategic efforts, there are plans to realign existing security camps to key entry and exit routes of frequent use by bandits, such as across the Meru North grazing zones. The realignment is intended to enhance mobility, surveillance, and rapid response capability to criminal incidents. Additionally, there is a plan to recruit new NPR personnel from areas of Kiwanja, Epiding, and Mile Saba areas, which are identified as corridors of banditry activities, especially among areas where the Turkana community are living. It's an area that we would like to enhance the NPR. The deployment of 21 county rangers, sponsored by the county government of Meru, is also under consideration. These rangers will serve as fast response to livestock theft incidents, operating in coordination with multi-agency security team for rapid support. And these rangers, Mr. Speaker, are taking care of the conservancies. This proposal is currently under review by the County Security and Intelligence Committee for further deliberation and guidance. Further, there is a proposal to establish a multi-agency security operation base at Ndumuru Police Station in Igembe North Sub-County. The station's strategic location along non-bandit transit routes linking Meru and Isiolo counties make it an ideal hub for coordinated operation and regional security mobilization. In addition, Mr. Speaker, let me just say that the problem is at the source, which is in Samburu County and parts of Laikipia and parts of Isiolo. But Samburu East is our biggest challenge. And in the statement I made earlier as a summary, I indicated that infrastructure development is extremely important in opening up these very critical hideouts, Mr. Speaker, where these criminals hide in Samburu East and Laikipia North in Mukokodo Forest. That way, the National Security Council has directed that the Ministry of Roads, working with the Ministry of Interior, should set aside resources to open up this area so that it's accessible for security operations. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Meru, do you have any supplementary questions?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I want to thank the CS, but let me say that some statistics that he has given me are not satisfactory, Mr. Speaker, because this case of Meru, men and women acting as collaborators with the bandits, Honorable CS, it is not documented, and as far as I'm concerned, and my knowledge is maybe true, we have not received any report, comprehensive report, that Merus are collaborating with the bandits. And if there are any cases, maybe if you could provide this House with that data so that also it can help us as a community, because it has not been documented, it has not been laced by the security. And also, Mr. Speaker, another issue is, you have said that there is late reporting of this theft of cattle and livestock. Mr. Speaker, you know, these guys rent our homesteads, not even out the grazing areas. There is nothing to steal from the grazing areas. They took all the cattle from the grazing areas, and now they are coming up to actually the markets, stealing goods in sheds from the homesteads. So, Mr. Speaker, it is not a matter of reporting, and the reporting is actually instant to the security forces. But, Mr. Speaker, we have that problem. But now that you are here, Honorable CS, can you kindly help us in the Bore East and West? That is where now all the criminals have moved to my reservoir and in Garendale Forest. So there is this, what the county government is trying to do, but if you could add more security officers, the police officers in that belt, so that sometimes when these guys pass through the police posts, the police stations, because they are very few in the stations, they are scaries. They just keep quiet and watch bandits area to maybe to talk to that community, and also guide area to maybe to talk to that community, and also guide them on what they need to do. Honorable CS, thank you.
Senator Dulo.
Thank you, Chair. Mr. Speaker. Waziri, thank you very much for your presentation. I remember as a security committee, we were to visit Isiolo, Meru, Samburu, and Marsabit. Those are the areas that are really affected with the cattle rustling. My request to you, I know recently there are so many people who are killed in that area. There are hot spots in that area. Is it possible for the government to put security, more specifically in the areas that we really feel attack normally happens or criminals use as an area of raid? But it's important if we have a get together and see how we can iron out those issues, because it's really affecting those 4 counties. I thank you.
Senator Mofai.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I happen to suffer from the same fate. Tharaka is one of the constituencies, especially the lower part of the Tharaka constituency. Honorable Speaker, we had made some requests from the Minister of Interior to have people recruited as KPR, maybe to reinforce the existing security apparatus. So could the Minister maybe guide this House or through these questions whether there is any arrangement, there are some intention maybe to recruit Kenya Police Service to enhance security and maybe reinforce the existing security systems in the place. Because Tharaka, we have similar situations where bandits strike, they use the Meru National Park as a
you
corridor.
have asked your question. Allow the CS to respond. Senator Lelego.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, time and again, the Cabinet Secretary for Interior or the Ministry of Interior have always reported to this House and in public that part of the reasons why they are not recovering livestock or why they are not keeping security in the security-prone areas is because of terrain. I remember as leadership of the affected region, we've met the minister several times, even during the last financial year, and with the promise that they will be able to set aside resources to try and make sure that this terrain, or they solve these challenges they're reporting as terrain challenges. My question is whether, and of course, again, Mr. Speaker, even in the public barassas they've had across the North Rift or across the affected regions, this issue has been raised by residents that part of the reasons why bandits or we are not having security in those regions is because of terrain. So I don't know, because again, I've heard from the minister again today that they are working in collaboration with the Ministry of Roads. I'm not sure whether these resources are available, because it's during the last financial year that the Cabinet Secretary promised that they will set aside resources to try and solve the terrain challenges in the North Rift region. Thank you.
Proceed to respond.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. First, let me say that I agree with the Meru Senator, the Honorable Deputy Speaker, that the question of challenges around Ngare Forest, among other areas, Buri now, where we have many challenges and the hotspots. Mr. Speaker, when we say that people are not reporting, we are not saying in all the incidences. I gave it as a raft of reasons, a number of reasons why sometimes these challenges persist is because it is not in all the incidents, but we have clearly incidences that people report stolen livestock 2-3 days later. And even in public barassas, previously, even before I came to office, this issue was properly discussed, and the communities agreed that they needed to graze together, but also they need to make sure that they have somebody's taking care of the livestock. The thing is that, Mr. Speaker, before banditry, these livestock didn't need to be taken care of because to have somebody taking care of them the entire day. You take them to grazing field and pick them in the evening. But now with banditry, the challenges persist. Mr. Speaker, on the question as to whether there is a collaborators from the Meru side, of course they are. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Marakwet side. And when I was sitting where the Deputy Speaker was sitting, when I was told by security people that there are Marakwets who are assisting Pokots to steal livestock of Marakwets, I would deny the way the Senator would deny. But with the information I have now, Mr. Speaker, I know that there were many Marakwets who were assisting the bandits from Pokot to steal livestock. And as soon as we decided as a security sector and asked the community to deal with bandits as bandits, we have had greater collaboration from both sides of the communities, and we realized that even recently when most of the Marakwets bandits surrendered, because they're the first ones to surrender, they were able to call their friends on the other side. They helped us to call their friends and tell them now it's time to surrender. There is no more network of intelligence. Bandits also have their own networks of intelligence. So I want to encourage the Senator, please don't defend them. Some of them we have dealt with them already. Some we are continuing monitoring them. They get even paid, because once the livestock has been stolen, they send via M-Pesa money back to their collaborators from the community where they are assisting them. So, and this is not confined to Meru. You just need to know that banditry is an organized crime. It has collaborators on both sides. It has police officers who assist. We have even established that even some security officers sell bullets. There are business people who buy their cows at a throwaway price. They are, so it's not something to be defended. It's something to be dealt with. And our plan, Mr. Speaker, is to do something akin to what has already happened at the border of Baringo, Elgeyo Marakwet, and West Pokot, are a targeted security operation in this particular area. And you will establish, once that happens, you will realize that even the people who are saying livestock is being stolen from us, they will cry louder, because they will quickly realize that a number of criminals are in their midst, just the same way we did it in the other parts of North Rift. And that is ongoing. The Security Council has given directive that some resources be sought, which we are working with the Treasury to see some resources so that we can have a more targeted operation in that particular area. I am very confident, Mr. Speaker, if anything is to go by, if I have to go by what we did within the border of Marakwet, West Pokot, and Baringo, that with greater targeted security operations, we will have more guns. We have reached 600 guns in that pretty small area. In this Meru, Isiolo, and Samburu area, I have a lot of confidence. Again, when we did the resource requirement, like Senator Lelegwe has raised, and which is required to open up these Samburu areas, it's massive, Mr. Speaker. It's really, really massive. And there has to be a Marshall Plan. Banditry will not be sorted by just merely talking about looking for the guns and arresting people. The development is a key issue, whether it is roads, water, electricity, and education. And that's what is bedeviling parts of Turkana, Samburu, and Baringo, West Pokot, and Isiolo, and other places of Laikipia. So as a result of that, there are certain roads that have already been identified. The Senator knows that the road from Maralal to Baragoi is now going to be delivered in this, hopefully in this financial year, that the program will start. And there are about 6 or 7 key roads in that belt, Mr. Speaker, that when we get the resources, and it's massive resources that are required, we need about 3 to 4 billion to just open up roads without even tarmacking them. And Mr. Speaker, that is the challenge. It is budgetary allocation, and you saw in my summary that we are working on it. And I'm happy that we are, at least I have suggested that let's do one road to Mokogodo Forest, for example, and that will sort out one of the problems. Do another one to Malaso, and then to Baragoi, and then we do something in Tiati constituency between areas of Silale, and then we'll have made some great progress in this area. And that's something that the President is on it to get us the relevant resources through consultation between ministries. I will visit the place, I agree, in Buri. The Inspector General was there a few months ago, and the Deputy Inspector General was also a few months ago, so I will also visit that particular area. Increase of NPR, I agree with Senator Mofire on NPR. We will definitely go and sit down and work on it. In the Jukwaa Usalama, the discussion was that NPR are good, but they are part of the problem. In parts of Turkana and West Pokot now, where there is a problem in Kainuk, we have established that some of the NPR are collaborating with their own communities and criminals from their communities to perpetuate these crimes. That was the case also in Marakwet side and Pokot side. So the policy proposal was to reorganize NPR to make sure that the command structure is very clear, that the OCS is in charge of all the NPRs, so that their deployment and they have a sight of where they are and what they do. And that is really what has helped in some parts of the country, including in Marsabit and other places. So in your area, in this area of Meru, sometimes you give the NPR, but because they are not working closely with the police, then we lose a number of NPR the way we've lost in the last few months in that area. So that is being done with the Inspector General of Police and the National Police Service. 2 weeks we will launch that Jukwaa Usalama report, and it will have the policy already completed with the clarity on how that command structure will be. And then there are about 1 million, across the country. So they're about 700,000. So it is something that, I've exaggerated, 7,000, not 700,000, 7,000 NPRs across the country. So it's an issue that we must deal with accordingly. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, I think KPR, forest, resources and so forth, I think I've responded to majorly most of the questions that have been raised. Sorry?
We will now... Honorable CS, it's okay. We will now move to question number 044. What clarification are you seeking?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, it's not clear from the minister. This insecurity is promoted by politicians. We know of a politician in Baringo, a politician in West Pokot. In fact, his helicopter lifted cattle rustlers when they had been arraigned in court in Kitale. So it's not enough for him just to say, pinch of salt because we are competing. What are you doing about them? And if you want, allow me to state the names of the MPs from West Pokot and Baringo. Our people are being killed by these politicians in the name of cattle rustling.
What is your question, Honorable?
The question is, what is he doing about politicians who are promoting this insecurity? One from Baringo, another one from West Pokot.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, banditry is not confined to Pokot community or West Pokot and Baringo or members of parliament who are from Pokot. Mr. Speaker, it's a problem everywhere. Everywhere. There are collaborators in Isiolo, in Samburu, in Laikipia, or any leaders from one community is wrong. Number two, Mr. Speaker, and you will get to know this as soon as you engage in security issues, you realize that, Mr. Speaker, sometimes the MP has come to defend certain people, even pick them, even pay for them fines. But, Mr. Speaker, you may never find the MP directly, buying the bullets or inciting and so forth. So what does the security team do? They go for the people who have done it. If the MP used Mr. X to buy bullets, you go for the Mr. X who has bought bullets and deal with that one. If it has used so and so to do criminal activities, you go for them. So, Speaker, politicians also have, because I've sat in this house, sometimes mistakenly they think they're defending their community. They find themselves they're defending criminals. So if the police officers try following elected leaders for the sake of it, without going specifically where the evidence is, you end up, Mr. Speaker, politicizing the process. Our concern is that go for the evidence and go for the perpetrator, regardless of their position. The other thing we say is that politicians are not only the ones who are elected. It also includes those who are aspiring to be elected. It also includes those who are just political opinion leaders in particular areas. And this has been dealt with across the communities. So while I agree with Senator Boni Kalwale that sometimes that there are cases where political leaders are involved in inciting communities or financing and supporting banditry, it is not true that it's confined to one community. And it's not true that we deal with it from a political perspective. We deal with it from evidence leading to the suspect. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator for Nairobi City County.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Mine is, the first one is question number 44. Unfortunately, Speaker, you will note that this question is from 4th of March 2025. And the reason why it's being brought to the floor 9 months later is that we have been unable to secure the attendance of the CS. No wonder he has 21 questions to respond to. But I'll proceed, Honourable CS, Honourable Speaker. Could the Cabinet Secretary state why police officers traveling across the country to Nairobi County for the National Police Service Promotion Board interviews are never facilitated with transport and accommodation, despite the interviews being part of the official duties? Secondly, could the Cabinet Secretary explain the reasons for the delay in the release of the results of the National Police Service Promotion Board interviews conducted in Nairobi between the 10th and 14th of February 2025? And lastly, was ethnic balance and the length of service considered during the promotion interviews held in February of 2025? And could the CS state all the measures taken to ensure fairness in the process? I thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Honorable CS.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I know I agree with the Senator Sifuna that we have been unable to answer these questions, but it was not by desire. The last time I appeared before this House to answer the questions, there was a matter of great concern at that particular time, and we spent the whole day here in this same chamber. Then we could not go to these questions. The second time, Mr. Speaker, there was some security unfortunate incidences that happened, and then recess and so forth. So it was not because of not my liking to come here. I really like coming here. Just that sometimes this is like Job's headquarters, Mr. Speaker. You are sitting in the office and then something happens. Mr. Speaker, on question 1, let me not read the questions again so that to save time. Promotion board interviews are considered official duty, and as such, officers attending these interviews are entitled to per diem allowances and transport facilitation. These are to be provided through their immediate supervisors, who are the designated holders of authority to incur expenditure, otherwise famously known as AIE in short. However, the disbursement of AIEs to field commander station of transport. As a result, many officers have been compelled to make personal transport arrangements to attend these important career advancement opportunities. To address these persistent challenges, the Ministry is actively engaging with the National Treasury to streamline and prioritize the disbursement of exchequer to ensure that all operational and welfare-related financial obligations are met in a timely and predictable manner. Additionally, the Ministry is collaborating with the National Police Service leadership in collaboration with National Police leadership has initiated a fleet improvement plan aimed at progressively equipping stations and posts with functional transport assets. These reforms are aligned with the recommendations of the 2023-2024 Police Reform and Prisons Service Reform Task Force, which called for enhanced logistical support, decentralization of operational resources, and a robust welfare framework for all the officers. As a matter of fact, Mr. Speaker, everywhere I went through Jukwaa la Usalama, AIE is a matter of concern. Resource disbursement to the various police stations so that they can have money to facilitate the officers when they come for this is a matter of great concern. However, in addition to what I have said, the officer will claim this transport in the fullness of time because they are entitled to. And as long as the resources are availed, they will be paid in due course. Reasons for the delay in release of results of the National Police Service Board interviews conducted in Nairobi between 10th and 14th November 2025. Mr. Speaker, the promotion process within the National Police Service begins with the identification and allocation of vacancies across various ranks of the National Police at the National Police Headquarters. Following this, the Inspector General instructs this respective service to convene promotion boards and submit lists of successful candidates. The interviews process is structured into 5 progressive levels designed to ensure transparency, fairness, and distribution of opportunities down to the lowest police units. At the conclusion of each level, candidates are interviewed and ranked. Those who attain the highest scores are notified to proceed to the next level, while others are encouraged to reapply in future exercise. Only the final list of successful candidates who are not required to undergo further interviews is submitted to the Inspector General based on merit and performance. This multi-tiered process may result in perceived delays, but it's necessary to uphold meritocracy and fairness in full compliance with Chapter 34 of the National Police Service Standing Orders. Honourable Speaker, the Ministry wishes to assure the House that the promotion interviews held on February 2025 were concluded on strict compliance with the policies and guidelines outlined in the Chapter 34 of the National Police Service Standing Orders. The process incorporated key selection criteria, including ethnic and regional balance, affirmative action, individual performance, and appraisal records, length of service, successful completion of police law examination, and promotion courses, and the maintenance of a clean and satisfactory disciplinary record. These measures were implemented to ensure inclusivity, meritocracy, and fairness in the allocation of the available promotion slots. Honorable Speaker, the welfare, morale, and career progression of officers remain a priority in the Ministry of Interior and National Administration. We shall continue to take necessary steps to ensure the promotion process are not only fair and inclusive, but also timely and well supported. I submit, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Sifuna, do you have any supplementary question?
Yes, Speaker, you realize that the response that the CS is reading is from April.
Yes.
April of 2025. We are now in November. My expectation would be that you would give us an updated status, the current status. For instance, Honorable Speaker, you tell us, CS, have the reimbursements now been paid to the officers who attended interviews in February using their own resources, number one? Has the report on those interviews now been released? I mean, Speaker, this is how many months down the line? From April to now is almost 7 months. That is the expectation we have today. He cannot just read what he sent us in April. So let him tell us, are the results of the interviews out? Have the officers been reimbursed for the expenses they incurred in this? Are there any pending payments? And lastly, Honorable Speaker, on ethnic composition, it would be very nice if the CS gave this House a breakdown of the ethnic makeup of the upper echelons of the police force. I thank you.
CS, maybe you can give that clarification.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. For the promotion, it was done, and the officers are already in the. For the lower ranks of police officers, like corporals and sergeants, they completed the training. So they have already been promoted. You see, all of them go to promotional courses. At the higher ranks, they are still in various training centers. They are going through their training. It is important for the Senator, which I think we did not provide in the statement, to know that it was not everywhere that AIEs were not facilitated. Police officers, senior ranks, that should be a straightforward question. It's also available in public domain, but I should be able to share maybe from commissioners to go up, who are people who are occupying these positions across the country. That is a public knowledge, but we can submit it as a supplementary statement later, Mr. Speaker. I thank you.
Because of time, Honorable Senators, I think if we go by this list on my board here, it will take a lot of time. So maybe I'm very much constrained to ask Senator Sifuna to ask a second question. Unless if it is on the promotion, the interviews, specifically. Senator Mandago.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. My supplementary question to the CS is it true that the officers who have been promoted 2 ranks within 6 months on merit, is it also true that there are ranks beyond which an officer should not be promoted on merit, and they have been promoted on merit?
Second. I missed the second.
Sorry, repeat. My question is, Honorable Speaker, to the CS is it true that there are officers within the ranks who have been promoted on merit twice within 6 months, and also whether senior officers have been promoted on merit on ranks ordinarily you cannot be promoted on merit? Thank you.
Just a minute, CS, let's get 2 more. Senator Gataya Mufwe.
One would be interested to know whether there is any promotion policy in the National Police Service. Most Honorable Speaker, you find that somebody has just joined the police force. Tomorrow he is an inspector. Somebody has been timing there for the last 10 years and has not been promoted. So do you have any policy to guide on the promotion to police officers? There are quite a number of discontents within the force. That maybe there's some people who are clinging on corruption and political brokers here and there to get promotions.
You have asked your question, and also the CS should also know that you are a former police officer. Yeah, maybe did not get the promotion then. So answer those 3 questions, then we make progress, kindly.
Am I in order, Mr. Speaker, to request Senator Mofaya to disclose the rank which he retired? and how we ended up being there. Mr. Speaker, that's on a light note. Mr. Speaker, on the promotion, I agree first with Senator Mofaya. Before I answer Senator Mandago's question, during the Jukwaa la Usalama, these issues were raised by police officers directly, OCSs and the officers that we were in the forum together. And there was a concern that some people, it takes 30 years and they've never been promoted. Others, as you've said, takes 6-7 years, they are promoted. And so the police service requires a promotion policy. And the conclusion of the Jukwaa la Usalama report is that they need to be clarity on promotion policy, that people know if they attain certain number of years and they do not have in their file any criminal record or whatever bad record, and they are diligent in their work, then there should be motivation by ensuring that there's clarity on exactly how do you get promoted. The other issue that Senator Mandago has raised came up also during the discussion, that is, can you allow people at certain ranks to be promoted without going to do the training? What has happened is that, and mostly affects your bodyguards and a number of other places, is that sometimes you come and lobby and say, I've stayed with this bodyguard for many years, which is right, because you are making a case for the person who's working with you. And then you say, let's promote them. Then when we tell you, we are promoting, but they go for training, you say, can they get by merit? So one day, you are no longer a senator or a governor or an MP. Then they have a rank of at a level of inspector or chief inspector. They are supposed to go and run a police station, but they have no experience on anything. They have not been trained on anything on how to run a police station. So they cannot even be an officer commanding any station, because they have just been helping you and supporting you as a government officer. So again, the decision, the report indicated that there should be a rank within which a person cannot be promoted without going to training. And starting with the members, the ones who were promoted recently, a good number of them were even those promoted in merit, because merit is allowed. Even those promoted in merit were told, yes, you are promoted in merit, but you must go for training, because now you are progressing to a certain rank. But in terms of what Senator Mofaya raised, a policy must be in place, either be infused in the standing orders or a standalone policy on promotions and transfers, like I mentioned in my opening statement. I am not aware of specific cases, as Senator Mandago raised, where someone has been promoted in 6 months beyond 2 ranks. I am not very much aware about that. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Let's go to the next question, Senator Sifuna.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The next question is from friends of mine in Kibra, the Nubian community, and across the country. Could the Cabinet Secretary confirm whether there are any plans to issue a citizenship code recognizing the Nubian community as a Kenyan ethnic community, and indicate the expected timelines for such issuance? And secondly, why do members of the Nubian community continue to face barriers in acquiring national identification documents, and what measures is the ministry taking to bring an end to this discrimination? Thirdly, Honorable Speaker, could the Cabinet Secretary outline the measures the government is taking to expedite reparations to the Nubian community for historical land injustices occasioned by that lack of recognition? Thank you, Speaker.
Honorable Waziri.
Mr. Speaker, the government, through the Directorate of National Registration Bureau, assigns unique ethnic identification codes to Kenyan communities. These codes enable individuals to declare their ethnicity when registered for national identity documents as required under Section 51D of the Registration of Persons Act. The recognition and coding of ethnic communities is a continuous and progressive process. At the inception of the manual first-generation national identity card system in 1978, individuals declared their ethnicity on registration forms. This information was recorded in the manual register but did not appear on the physical ID card. In 1995, with the introduction of the second-generation ID and the automated Kenya identity management system, it became necessary to create specific ethnic codes to capture the ethnic data electronically. Each ethnic community was assigned a unique code, while a generic code, other Kenyans, was provided for individuals whose communities were not yet listed among ethnic groups in the system. The Nubian community was initially registered the lack of communal code. Over time, the ministry has progressively reviewed and updated ethnic codes for additional communities, including sub-tribes that have asserted distinct ethnic identities separate from larger linguistic or cultural groups. As part of this ongoing progress, the Nubian community was officially assigned a distinct ethnic code, code number 50 in 2022, thereby recognized them as a Kenyan ethnic community within the national registration framework. On part 2, Mr. Speaker, I am not aware of that member of Nubian community. I am not aware that members of Nubian community continue to face barriers in acquiring national identification documents. Indeed, His Excellency the President on 5th February 2025 directed the discontinuation of additional vetting requirements that had been applied during the registration and issuance of national identity documents to certain communities and individuals residing in specific regions of the country. The Nubian community was among the groups positively affected by this directive. Prior to this presidential directive, members of the Nubian community were subjected to a special vetting process that had been developed in consultation between the ministry and the Nubian community elders. This vetting mechanism required attestation of ID applicants by Nubian elders. The purpose of this arrangement was to help distinguish between Kenyan Nubians whose forebearers settled in the country before independence and migrant Nubians who continue to migrate to Kenya. Following the directive of His Excellency the President, this community-based vetting process was officially discontinued, and the Nubian community is now fully integrated into the standard national registration framework. Currently, the registration and issuance of national identification documents across the country, including the members of Nubian community, is conducted under the new uniform mechanism launched by the President to streamline and standardize the process nationwide. Under this mechanism, the identity of an applicant is authenticated by the present or guardian biological relatives through the embossing of the left thumbprint on the registration form. This is further validated by the thumbprint of the chief or assistant chief, ensuring local administration oversight. This standardized procedure applies uniformly in the registration, thereby ensuring equality, fairness, and the elimination of any form of discrimination in access to national identification documents. Honorable Speaker, members of the Nubian community have been registered and issued with national identification documents since introduction of the first generation ID in 1978. While it is true that the Nubian community was initially categorized under the generic ethnic code Other Kenyans, Code 81, this did not in any way prevent members of the community from acquiring identification documents. Furthermore, the subsequent assignment of Code number 50 has reaffirmed their status as a duly recognized Kenyan ethnic community. With regard to the vetting process that was previously applied to members of the Nubian community, it is important to clarify that the vetting was not unique to the Nubian community. It was also applied to residents of all border counties and to communities living both in Kenya and in across the country's porous international borders. The purpose of this process was not to discriminate. Rather, it was an identity verification mechanism designed to ensure that national identification documents were issued exclusively to bona fide Kenyan citizens. It is with the sovereign responsibility of any state to institute appropriate measures to differentiate its citizens from non-citizens, particularly with regard to cross-border movement and settlement patterns. Given these facts, it could therefore not be accurate to claim that members of the Nubian community have been denied recognition as Kenyan citizens. The government has taken deliberate measures, including the abolition of the extra vetting requirements and the standardization of national registration process to ensure that all citizens, including the Nubian community, enjoy equal treatment and access to identification and citizenship services. Mr. Speaker, the government remains fully committed to promoting inclusion, equity, and fairness for all communities in Kenya. Through ongoing reforms in national registration and identity management process, the ministry continues to work collaboratively with relevant agencies to address and prevent any form of perceived historical marginalization. I thank you.
Ndomi sound in Nairobi. Yes, they're in Nairobi, most of them are in Nairobi. So, if the CS and given the response, I want the senator to address the question, at least to be affirming to us that whether he's satisfied or she's satisfied, whether he has a supplementary question, so that we avoid the repeat, the way the CS is reading the whole response from A to Z. So, Senator Sifuna, let me hear from you whether you are satisfied with the response or you have a supplementary question.
Speaker, I read this response and I was not satisfied, but I started first by correcting you that the Nubian community is spread all across the country. And in fact, part of the question was the discrimination in identity cards issuance. We were told that vetting had been removed, but in Kisii County, the reports are that they are still going through that vetting. Now, Speaker, the communication that I received from the CS is unsatisfactory for the following reasons. First of all, Honorable Speaker, it is not clear whether there is a formal recognition through something like a gazette notice or a communication. You see the response that he has given has no annexures at all. In 2016, when we were recognizing the Makonde community, Honorable Speaker, there was a full ceremony. So what the Nubian community is saying, if you have issued a code, you have done it silently, do we have any document? Is it going to be gazetted? Is there going to be a formal ceremony? Does the issuance of a code now recognize them as the 50th community in Kenya? Those are the reasons why we are saying, Honorable Speaker, this is not a satisfactory response. Let him add those specific details. And lastly, on the question of land, there was a court ruling in 2015 that required the restitution of the remaining 3,000 acres of land or appropriate reparations to the community to be done. The CS has not addressed himself to that question of land restitution. So let him provide those two clarifications. Will we see a gazette notice? Will there be a formal response? Is there any formal document saying that they have now been recognized, or is just the word of mouth of the CS constitute them as the 50th community in the country? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Any other member with a supplementary question on this particular one? Senator Manzo.
Mr. Speaker, could the Cabinet Secretary indicate, the order followed to recognize communities, Mr. Speaker, because it's been happening once in a while after a community has come out strongly fighting. Could he explain whether they have a program so that we could know, other than the Nubian community, which other community is likely to be gazetted as a community? Because we have still unrecognized communities in Kenya. And how many are they in total? Those ones which have been recognized and those are yet to be recognized. Because it's been happening slowly by slowly, Mr. Speaker, from the Shona community, different communities. Once in a while, they get recognized, the ones settled in Kenya, Mr. Speaker.
Do you know one that has not been recognized? We start from there. Which one?
Mr. Speaker, what happens is that we have quite a number from Makonde. Yes, I want to be informed, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Mohamed Faki.
Ni kweli masuala ya makabila kutambuliwa ni jambo ambalo liko hadhir, na kule kwetu pwani kuna kabila ya Wangazija ambao Wangazija originally they are from the Comoros, but they have settled here for many years, and I brought a statement in the course of this year. I don't know whether Senator Chuti had worked on that, but Wangazija, Mheshimiwa Speaker, ni baadhi ya makabila ambayo hayajatambuliwa katika.
Senator Faki, you cannot be changing languages the way you want, You just stick to one language.
Samahani Mheshimiwa Speaker.
Swahili, please stick to
Samahani Mheshimiwa Speaker, ni kwamba Wangazija, kabila la Wangazija ni katika makabila ya Waswahili, ni moja ya yale ambayo hayajatambuliwa katika jamhuri yetu ya Kenya. Na majuzi nileta taarifa hapa katika bunge letu, na nafikiri kamati ya uwiano na Umoja wa Taifa inashughulikia swala hilo. Asante.
Senator Boni.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, with your kind permission, I was the one on the floor. Mr. Speaker, that's a tribe I was forgetting, but I'm aware there are quite a number. I'm sure Honorable Murkomen knows.
And got the question. He has the question.
Yes, so that he can tell us how many more from Wangazija, now how many more?
Senator Boni.
Mr. Speaker, we must collectively congratulate the government for the decision to make it easier for the Somali community and other border communities to move away from being discriminated. But, Mr. Speaker, this is the time. The minister must now tell the country, what security layer have you put there to ensure that potential terrorists who have used these borders before and visited a lot of violence to Kenya do not abuse this directive?
Answer those three questions, clarifications or supplementary questions, then we make progress.
I think, Mr. Speaker, and I want Senator Sifuna to listen to this. Because I'm responding to this question.
The CS is
I think Senator Sifuna
attention.
is confusing recognition in terms of as a standalone community with citizenship. The reason why ceremonies were done for the Shonas, the Pemba, the Makondes is because they were gaining citizenship. The Nubians were not gaining citizenship. They were being recognized as a standalone tribe in Kenya. And that has happened so many communities, and it's ongoing. Like even now, I have an application in my office from the Mara community, from Tharaka Nithi. They want to be recognized as standalone from the Nithis, that they want to be recognized independently, and so forth. And it goes through a process of vetting, consultation, public participation, and so forth. For the Nubians, as I read in the statement, they were already Kenyans, and they were recognized under Code 81 until now, 2020. On the question of I think that was really your main concern. On the question of land, I think that's beyond my jurisdiction, unless I specifically go about it to see lands, and maybe an issue that we need to continue interrogating. And if the question was to come to us specifically, that security component, of course, we will deal with it. I think that applies then to all the supplementary questions, including from Makueni Senator and from the Mombasa Senator, all Senator Manzo and Senator Faki, all those questions are actually related to citizenship. And so we go through application processes. And there's one from, I think, Bali, from Taita Taveta, that is under consideration, under application, and so forth. And that will be processed accordingly. We also have a secretariat that deals with minority groups that then identifies these groups, and then they usually ask it to be identified independent of the others. Senator Boni Galwale has raised the question of security with the removal of extra vetting. No, first of all, Senator Sifuna said that in Kisii, for example, Nubians are still being denied identity documents on an account of being not citizens. Now, you need to separate that there is Nubians, Kenyans, and Nubians who are still coming from other countries, Sudan, Uganda, who are living in other countries. So they have to go. If you don't meet the criteria of Kenyan citizenship, of course, you still go through process. You will be denied citizenship if you are. It's just like we have Maasai from Tanzania and Maasai from Kenya. Not every Maasai will be given ID here, or a Luya from Samia from Uganda and Samia from Kenya. It doesn't apply, or a Sabaot from Kenya or Uganda. So there's a process that you have, or Pokot from Kenya and Uganda. You have to go through certain processes. Mr. Speaker, on the question of removal of extra vetting requirements for citizenship, I know where Senator Boni is going by using the Somalis example. It was not a Somali thing. It's a Kenyan thing. That's why we talked about the Nubians in the city of Nairobi and other parts of Kenya. This is a problem that during Jukwaa la Usalama I realized that people of Kwale, Mr. Speaker, people of Kajiado, people of Narok, people of Migori, people of Busia, Kakamega, some parts of Kakamega, especially now Bungoma, you go to Trans Nzoia, you go West Pokot, Turkana, Marsabit, and then now the northeastern counties of Wajir, Mandera, and Garissa, plus Lamu and Tana River were facing. So it is not confined to one community. In fact, the Pokotsas as aggrieved are as people who are in Lamu. So it's not a problem of one community, and the vetting process applies, security concerns applies all over the place. There's also this misguided feeling, which I have seen in the media and political space, that the communities in Northeastern are homogeneous, and therefore they would allow a foreigner to come and be part and parcel of Kenyan community. I think it stems from the fact that very few people have visited those areas. There are hardly 10 people here, not even 10. Maybe there are hardly 2, 3. Maybe Senator Mofire, in his previous assignment, may have worked there. But there are hardly maybe 5 people in this house who have spent a week in Northeastern, including myself. The longest I've done is 4 days. So sometimes people do not appreciate the understanding of the place in the first place. So the gap, their failure to understand is filled by propaganda. The truth is that just the same way, that's the same way people come from other border counties. In Kajiado, for example, they will not allow a person from Tanzania, because they speak the same language, to come and take over their land or become part of the population of their land. It's the same way in Wajir, it's the same way in Mandera and other parts of the country. I think this ethnic profiling of one community should come to an end, Mr. Speaker, and people to appreciate the vetting process, which was extra, is unconstitutional, because the Constitution says all Kenyans must be treated equally. The person in Migori border in Isibania who is being denied documents because they are bordering Tanzania deserves equal treatment with the person in Turkana and the one in Wajir. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Now, let's go to the next question. Question 049. Senator Shakil Abdar. Just a minute. She has just one simple question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, my question is on the ban of night travel for public service vehicles along Lamu-Wito-Garseni Road. Honorable Speaker, my first question is, when will the current ban on night travel for public service vehicles along Lamu-Wito-Garseni Road, which was imposed to curb terrorism in July 2014, will be lifted? Number 2, measures put in place to ensure a swift response to medical and security emergencies at night. Mr. Speaker, number 4 is how the government has involved local communities in assessing the impact of the ban in the region's economy and transport sector. And finally, Mr. Speaker, immediate and long-term measures implemented to prevent attacks, security transport routes in Lamu County, and avoid future travel restrictions. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable CS.
The Speaker, on part 1, the Speaker, the travel ban first imposed in July 2014 was prompted by a series of frequent terror attacks along the road targeting travelers, including passengers and vehicles transporting goods. Terror threats in the area remain significant, with the most recent incident occurring in Mangai, Lamu East, on 14th March 2025. The ban has continually been based on the evolving threat levels posed by Al-Shabaab, who remain active in the region, and once the circumstances change, the ban will be lifted. In fact, it's part 2 of the question answers part 1, Mr. Speaker, where the Senator is answering questions of emergency, especially at night. One is that security agencies have strategically positioned armored vehicles along key points on the route, ensuring rapid response to any security emergencies. In collaboration with the Lamu County government, medical response teams have also been stationed in every sub-county hospital with standby ambulance ready for immediate response. Patrols and police presence have been intensified along the roads and business centers to enhance security and vehicular movements. A multi-agency command center has been established in Lamu to facilitate swift response to any attacks. On part 3, Mr. Speaker, the ban has affected the economy of the area. The government is, however, actively working to neutralize existing threats, and efforts are underway to restore security, with the ultimate goal for recommending a lifting of the ban once the area is deemed safe. On the last part, Mr. Speaker, the following measures have been taken to enhance security in the area. Foot and mobile patrols have been intensified to ensure strong and visible security presence. Implementation of counter-violent extremism strategies to prevent radicalization and promote long-term safety. Intelligence sharing among security agencies has also been improved to enhance the effectiveness of counter-terrorism operations. Community policing is being promoted as a key tool to strengthen collaboration between security agencies and the public. Ongoing engagements between the local and religious leaders in order to facilitate timely and proactive responses to emerging security threats. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Do you have any supplementary question, Senator Shakira?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to thank the Waziri for his response. As you are aware, Mr. Speaker, this ban has been there for the last 11 years. We know the security is very important, and it's a very serious issue. And we know there are areas in this country which are neighboring the borders, whereby they have more serious security issues than Lamu. But yet, there are no bans which has been put in those counties. My question to the Waziri is, if he realizes, and he has put some measures which he has narrated here clearly, I don't know what more is left for him to do in 11 years which has not been done, that will be done now for this ban to be lifted. Mr. Speaker, what I'm asking from Waziri is the timeline of whatever he is doing. When will it be done and completed so that this ban can be lifted, which has been there for the last 11 years, and it has been affecting us economically and in many different ways. And even we cannot have tourism because of this ban. Mr. Speaker, the measures which he has put in place are good enough, which he has narrated here. What more needs to be done? And us, as members, as Kenyans, we are suffering. We are like in a curfew. For 11 years, we cannot move, Mr. Speaker. No other part of this country is suffering the way Lamu is suffering. I don't know whether this is fair. It is not fair, Mr. Speaker. 11 years, we can't move. We need answers. We are tired, and it's enough.
Any other supplementary question on this question? Senator Ram.
On the same issue?
Yes, yes.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to sincerely thank the Cabinet Secretary for the question, actually, the way he has answered the question. Cabinet Secretary. Honorable Speaker, the buck stops with the government. It is the government that is supposed to tell us when those roadblocks are supposed to be lifted. But for the time being, Honorable Speaker, I want to support the Cabinet Secretary, and I want to say that we as the citizens of Lamu, we are looking at the government to make sure that they prevent and actually they give the necessary security to the people of Lamu. Lifting the roadblocks, Honorable Speaker, does not mean that the security of that area is now in good place. Honorable Speaker.
Do you have a supplementary question?
Yes, I have it. Honorable Speaker, I want to say this, that I want to repeat by saying that the buck stops with the government, and it is the government that is supposed to tell us when these roadblocks will be lifted. Honorable Speaker, I want to oppose the question by Honorable nominated Senator. Honorable Speaker, finally, Honorable Speaker.
I thought you have, okay, you agree with the CS.
Yes, I agree with the CS. Yes, now the supplementary question is this.
So that's okay then.
Okay. Now, Honorable Speaker, my supplementary question is, there is a very big problem in Lamu. And I want the Honorable Cabinet Secretary to explain to us, when is he prepared to remove the asbestos that are in Mpeketoni police stations that has been there for a very long time? Actually, when the Cabinet Secretary, Honorable Duale, actually gave a directive that all those asbestos should be removed. And they have never been removed, Honorable Speaker. And I want to know, when is the government preparing to remove all those asbestos?
Okay. And Senator Faki, last one on this question.
Haya mambo ya Lamu sisi pia yanatuathiri watu wa Mombasa. Mheshimiwa Spika, ningependa kujua kutoka kwa waziri, hii vizuizi vya kuzuia watu kusafiri Lamu vilitolewa kama kupitia kwa gazeti rasmi la serikali, na gazeti hilo lilichapishwa mwaka gani na tarehe gani? Kwa sababu hauwezi kuzuia watu kutembea.
Naomba sasa tuulize swali, tuache taarifa.
Ni swali hilo Mheshimiwa Spika. Huwezi kuzuia watu kusafiri bila ya kutumia gazette notice. Kwa sababu katiba inatupa uhuru wa kutembea wakati wowote. Kwa hivyo iwapo kuna vizuizi vitaka kuwekwa na serikali, lazima kuwe na gazeti rasmi la serikali ambalo litasema katika eneo hili huwezi kusafiri usiku kuanzia saa 12 jioni mpaka saa 12 alfajiri. Wakati wa COVID, Mheshimiwa Spika, kulikuwa na gazette notice kama hizo ambazo zilitolewa kuzuia watu wasiweze kusafiri. Na kila baada ya miezi mitatu zilikuwa zile gazette notice zinaletwa katika bunge hili na bunge la kitaifa ili kuongezwa. Asante Mheshimiwa Spika.
Senator Chute, just direct to the question, your supplementary question.
Tangu ni mambo ya roadblocks. Mheshimiwa Spika, roadblocks ni shida kubwa sana kwetu. Marsabit kulikuwa na roadblocks 17. Saa hii nataka kuuliza waziri kama anajua kuna roadblocks imeanza kuingia usiku mahali inaitwa Turbi na Bubisa. Kama hiyo roadblock ni inaingia iko gazetted ama inaingia kwa njia ya kinyuma atueleze na iondolewe. Asante sana.
Hiyo iko kwa barabara ya kwenda Lamu.
Barabara ya kwenda Turbi, barabara ya kwenda Moyale iko Turbi na Bubisa. Watu Mheshimiwa Spika,
watu walipo swali hili inahusikana na swali ambalo liko katika
Mheshimiwa Spika, watu ya Marsabit wana watch. Huyo madam alipouliza wakasema uliza ya Turbi na Bubisa pia, Honorable Speaker.
Asante. Wamekusikia wale.
Asante.
CS, respond to those supplementary questions. We make progress. So far, so good. Professor Jenda, keep yourself set with your questions.
So, Speaker, on the ban, I agree with the Honourable Senator that it has affected the economy of the people of Lamu, and these are not contestable facts. It is the truth. But, Mr. Speaker, weighing it against the loss of life, balancing the economic issues and the loss of life, the government will side with the side that is protecting lives. Mr. Speaker, it is good to also realize that we are not banning movement to Lamu completely. It's just at night to ensure that we protect and prevent any possible terror attacks. Because, Mr. Speaker, losing one life is one too many. So I ask my sister to bear with us as we continue assessing. Unfortunately, we can't give timelines because the timelines are dictated by external factors that we must deal with first, and that threat is continuous. The threat is still significant, and so it's important for us and for you in support of the economy of Lamu. In fact, if you were to be very deliberate in terms of your calculation, the cost of one attack of a terror outweighs 365 nights where you ban transport at night. So it is important to prevent, even for economic reasons, it's important to prevent any possibility of any attack along the road. And Mr. Speaker, we will continue assessing these issues to ensure that by the time we tell citizens to travel, we are very sure about their safety. This was already a Gazette notice that is in place. It's just that we have been extending every 3 months via Gazette notice to a continuation of the same. On the roadblocks raised by Senator Chute, I think I am sure those are operational issues. I'm sure the National Police Service from time to time review the need to have roadblocks. It's important for Senator Chute to know that for the country, because I know Senator Chute knows that we are having also a problem in the border between Marsabit and our neighbors, especially dealing with OLF and OLM. And that problem has spilled over to Interland because there is drug trafficking, there is trafficking in human trafficking, there is issues related to banditry, and there is smuggling of ammunition and guns. So if you see roadblocks around Marsabit and Isiolo, it's because of the operation that is going on between our border and our neighbors. Lastly, I think the question on asbestos is a matter of great concern. Maybe it's not related to the Gazette notice of night ban, but Mr. Speaker, it is important that this is the directive given by Ministry of Environment applies to all institutions of government, and I've seen asbestos all over the place in police stations, hospitals, schools, and I think this is a subject we can come and discuss comprehensively, Mr. Speaker, another time. I thank you.
Senator Rogenda, Professor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I have 3 questions, and I have 3 responses from the CS. Mr. Speaker, my first question, question number 80, just to paraphrase the questions. I start with question number 28, Mr. Speaker. In summary, could the CS or Cabinet Secretary for Interior and National Administration provide us a status update on the operationalization of Kanyakwar location in Kisumu East constituency, Obunga sub-location in Kisumu Central constituency, and Kabonyo Kanyagwal division in Nyando constituency, all in Kisumu County, and provide timelines for the full operation of the said units. 2, are there plans by the national government to construct offices and other supporting infrastructure, deploy administrative officers, and provide necessary equipment to the administrative units? And if so, could the CS explain any specific measures put in place to fast-track the process and address any challenges faced so far? 3, has the ministry engaged members of the local communities on their needs and concerns regarding the operationalization process, particularly relating to the location of divisional headquarters at Kabonyo, Kanyagwal? And lastly, Mr. Speaker, could the CS also state all government services that will be made available to residents of the said units upon full operationalization? Mr. Speaker, I have received responses from the CS on this question, which responses are satisfactory on the operationalization. So I don't think that CS need to respond on this one. It is satisfactory.
Let's go to the next one.
Yes. Mr.
029.
Speaker, the next one is question 29, again addressed to the CS Interior and National Administration. Could the Cabinet Secretary provide a detailed account of civilian deaths, injuries, property destruction, and vandalism looting during the Gen Z-led demonstrations June, July, August 2024? Could the CS explain the reasons behind the protests, detailing arrests and any charges filed? What security measures were in place to protect Parliament buildings during the security breaches of 25th June 2024? And was there sufficient intelligence to anticipate the magnitude of the demonstrations? Lastly, what protocols and measures have been implemented to ensure law enforcement that law enforcement manages future demonstrations while respecting constitutional rights? My last question, Mr. Speaker, so that the CS could take all this together.
What is the status of that question?
Mr. Speaker, I have again received a detailed response, including the number of deaths, the causes and actions taken by the security apparatus at the time.
Yeah,
maybe the CS will just highlight a bit as he responds to the last question.
You are satisfied
I
with the
am
response?
satisfied. He will just highlight, I'm sure, in the end.
If you are satisfied, that's okay. Let's go to
Lastly,
question
Mr. Speaker,
080.
the last question, yes. The last question is on there's no arrangement.
Senator Professor. Order, Senator.
Mr. Speaker, the last question is on the CS Interior and National Administration.
You are not
the
the one
Cabinet
to allow
Secretary.
this around. I'm the chair of this session.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
You're out of order, Senator.
Could the Cabinet Secretary provide an update on
don't
any
assume you
formal...
know everything in the world that the chair does not know. Yes.
Mr. Speaker,
conclude.
Mr. Speaker, could I conclude that the CS could provide highlights when I'm done?
Actually, this is the way to go. Thank you very much, Professor.
Yes, thank you. Could the Cabinet Secretary provide an update on any formal investigations into an incident involving Pastor James Nganga of Neno Evangelism Center, who was recently captured on video slapping a congregant during a live church service? 2, what existing or proposed legislative or policy interventions are available for governing the conduct of religious leaders and institutions which aim at curbing the abuse of force, public humiliation or coercion of congregants and other abuses while upholding the constitutional guarantee of freedom of religion as stipulated under Article 32 of the Constitution? Lastly, what protection exists for worshippers and whistleblowers who report incidents of abuse, violence, or exploitation within religious institutions? Mr. Speaker, the CS can answer those questions.
So that, let me give guidance. What you have said is that you are satisfied with the responses on the 3 questions, isn't it?
Yes, but Mr. Speaker, you could give a highlight of 2 minutes.
No.
I am satisfied, though.
What I want to ask is the senators, if there is any other senator with a supplementary question. On the 3 questions. Have you a seat? Senator Mboni?
Mr. Speaker, on the issue of operation. Wait, here.
You can even pronounce it in Kiruya.
Yani khulomba. Yes, Mr. Speaker, operationalization of the locations and sublocation. Minister, could you tell us, there are many new sublocations and locations across the country, and young people have undergone interviews for employment. They have been waiting, some of them even for periods of up to 2 years. When are these people going to be allowed to start working as chiefs and assistant chiefs?
Any other member? Senator Enoch Wambua?
Thank you, Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Speaker, mine is also on that word, operationalization. It's going to open something. So, Mr. Speaker, the CS, if you will, we have a number of new sub-counties created in Kitui County, including Tharaka Gishu. And he knows I fought with him here to create that sub-county. It was created, it has been given a code, a DCC has been posted under the officers, but in terms of equipping the sub-county and the operations of the officers on the ground, including offices, vehicles for transportation, that has not happened. The Speaker, would the CS be kind enough to tell us when the vehicles and other equipment required for the smooth operations of especially the DCC for the Raka Gishu would be done? I thank you.
Honorable CS, answer those two. On to those two supplementary questions. Trinde, so maybe you can ask Senator Kataya. The CS is not Trinde.
Honorable Speaker, there is this sub-location called Kamagona. Kamagona is in Marawa location. I'm very sure Honorable Waziri is private to that information because it's somebody who has been to that place. It's called Kadangacheni, just neighboring Kadangacheni. Now it's Kadangaju. That sub-location, Honorable Speaker, has gone without a substantive assistant chief for close to 5 years since the retirement of one John Nyaga Kingo. We have under 2 interviews conducted. We have not received results for those interviews. And we have an acting sub-chief who is from Kamwado, which is quite a distance from Kamagona. So these people have been crying for services. They have not been able to get a sub-chief close to 5 years since the retirement of John Nyaga Kingo. So could the ministry, now that the minister is here, tell people of Kamagona sub-location through the senator?
Senator Mofaya.
Yeah, I'm asking the question.
Just ask the question.
I'm asking the question. I'm trying to build up the case.
Not to build anything.
So is it possible now for the CS to tell us when we are getting a sub-chief for Kamagona sub-location so that we can get
I think generally it's about operationalization of all the...
no, this is a substantive chief.
Divisions...
Honorable Speaker, a sub-chief retired, we have not unveiled replacement.
Honorable Mofaya, when the chair is trying to advise you, you sit down and quietly. So I was asking the CS to answer those questions because I can see we are really constrained with time. Because all members are asking about operationalization of a sub-location, a location, a division.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. I think, first let me say that I truly appreciate the mode you have adopted, Mr. Speaker, through the understanding of the Senator of Kisumu, Senior Counsel Ojenda Tom, that, when we send these questions, it's better when we just come back, we do the clarifications where there is satisfaction so that we don't keep reading and reading all of them, Mr. Speaker. And so, Mr. Speaker, on this, I think he had an issue with the Pastor Nganga. Or is it? Yeah, I think the only question I've been asked to respond to before I go to operationalization is the question relating to the slapping of somebody by someone. Mr. Speaker, it has been established that the alleged incident involving Pastor James Nganga of Neno Evangelism Center, in which he was reportedly captured slapping a congregant, occurred during night vigil prayer, otherwise known as Kesha, on the night of 18th of April 2025. The incident was neither reported at the nearest police station, Parliament, which is Parliament Police Station, nor any other station. Consequently, no investigations are currently underway, as no formal complaint has been lodged by the person slapped. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, you know, just the same way Senator Boni Khalwale raised an issue earlier about a member of parliament who did not record a statement. This faithful also, Mr. Speaker, did not record a statement. And, Mr. Speaker, if I may digress just for 1 second, that we are witnessing a lot of these issues in churches and purported churches or religious centers where people are being whipped. Adults, Mr. Speaker, are being whipped. Some are being slapped. Some are being sat on, Mr. Speaker, as part of impartation of Holy Spirit. And some, Mr. Speaker, are being washed by their pastors and so forth. Mr. Speaker, this is, I will be responding to the other issue down here, but this is something really that has affected, that is of great concern to the public. But particularly when someone goes to a church and then they are slapped and Kenyans are wondering whether this is the right thing to do. The only thing is that because of the extent of loyalty, the extent of the loyalty that some of this, or brainwashing if I may say, very few of them are willing to come out and record any statement. So when they don't record a statement, very little can be done by the police, even though you can see it is an act which is repugnant to justice and morality, but very little can be done if it is not properly recorded. Mr. Speaker, what existing? Yeah. The policy framework that exists to deal with these issues are as follows. One, the Society Act, where, Mr. Speaker, is the legal framework for governing religious institutions. Number two is the Penal Code, Mr. Speaker, where when someone is abused physically or otherwise, they can, Mr. Speaker, report to police station and we can prosecute. The Constitution, where you are entitled to religious practice, but there's limitations when there's a conflict with public safety, health, and moral considerations. What are the proposed way forward, Mr. Speaker? The churches are being encouraged to do self-regulation through their associations and councils, such as National Council for Churches of Kenya, Evangelical Association, among others. Two, legislation addressing abuse in religious institutions. There is an ongoing advocacy for a legislation to criminalize abusive behavior in religious institutions. But, Mr. Speaker, even with the existing law, you can still do so. Only you need the cooperation of the victims of this kind of abuse. Unless they are children, where we will take action, Mr. Speaker, whether or not the children are coming forward, Mr. Speaker, for adults, you only expect that they record a statement. Do No Harm Act. There is a current discussion on legislative forums to seek to prevent the misuse of Religious Freedom Restoration Act that aims to ensure that claims of religious freedom are not used to justify harmful or abusive practices. Those are legislative proposals. And then there is proposed Religious Organizations Bill 2024, which was a product, Mr. Speaker, of a task force that was put in place, chaired by Reverend Mutava Musimi, and which is suggesting self-regulation, registration and oversight of the religious institutions, need for financial transparency, and combating radicalization and incitement, the issues like Shakahola, among others, protection of religious leaders, Mr. Speaker, also who are sometimes targeted by radical elements in the society, and addressing abuse and harmful practices across. The last part is what protection exists for worshippers and whistleblowers who report incidents for abuse or violence, exploitation, and so forth. We have the equality and freedoms from discrimination provided for under Article 27 of the Constitution, freedom of expression under 33, access to justice under Article 48, right to privacy in Article 31, among others. The Whistleblower Protection Act provides legal protection for individuals who report unlawful or unethical behavior, including with religious institutions. It prohibits retaliation against whistleblowers and ensures that those who report abuse or misconduct are safeguarded from victimization. In conclusion, the government is actively collaborating with religious organizations and civil societies groups to develop safe and confidential reporting mechanisms for abuse. Trained religious leaders, teams, and witnesses can come forward without fear of reprisal. I will leave that matter there, Mr. Speaker, and until we have a formal complaint, we will treat it as it is. Mr. Speaker, on the issue of operationalization of administrative, Madam Speaker, on the operationalization of the administrative units, Mr. Speaker, this is a cross-cutting issue. At the moment, we have gazetted 18 sub-counties, 291 divisions, 1,439 locations, and 2,693 sub-locations which are yet to be operationalized. The reason being that we have budgetary constraint. Most of these institutions are gazetted because of the request, public participation, and then when you reach here, you submit the budget to Parliament. Sometimes we fall short of the budgetary requirement, to the extent that now we need like 2.5 billion shillings to operationalize these institutions. So recently we got a small budget, and we are trying to prioritize the few areas we will operationalize, starting with security places and so forth. And so, Mr. Speaker, as we work on this issue and push for the next budget for next financial year, and I know the budget policy statement will come to this House for input, it's important that we look at that item and see and flag out that item specifically, because some of these units were established 2015, 2016, 2017, up to now, and they're yet to be operationalized. So it's important to deal with this issue, and I'm telling you that we are so keen to do so because it helps us in security operations. Unfortunately, the budgetary allocations are not adequate. Mr. Speaker, during Jukwaa la Usalama, we picked a few after consultation to the locals, a few of them that is urgent for us to do something, and we are trying to roll out those institutions. Yes. And then on the vehicles, offices, and all these other requirements, is the reason. The reason why, sometimes this is the thing. The leaders come and say, we want a sub-county. Then you tell them, we don't have money to construct the office, we don't have budget for vehicles. They say, no, just gazette first. So, Mr. Speaker, out of sometimes political pressure, I need to admit, the government then gazettes. And then from there, now the same leaders go public and say, how can you gazette an administrative unit 10 years ago and you have not operationalized? Okay, they tell you, what you do, just send the DCC. The rest we will see what to do. You send the DCC, he has no vehicle and he has no office. Then they come back and say, which government is this that has a DCC which doesn't use a vehicle or an ACC? So it keeps going like that, Madam Speaker. So it is important, and as you try to resist that we don't want to have these institutions, it's important to have a policy framework of establishing administrative units so that that policy framework is followed through with its own budget. And that is one of the outputs of the Jukwaa la Usalama policy framework. We will make sure that as we work on the policies, one of them is how to establish an administrative unit. What do you do? What indicators are you going to look at so that it's not just a political wish, and also so that the president is not under pressure all the time, like it has been with the predecessors and including the current one, that they will always be under pressure to be told, we want a sub-county here, we want a location here, we want all this. We have to have a proper policy framework, and that was one of the outputs of Jukwaa la Usalama. And as I told you, in 2 weeks or so, as we launch our report, we will make sure that that is taken care of. I think other than that, Madam Speaker, I think that those are the issues that are raised by the two. I know I didn't want to go to specifics of the location of Senator Mofaya, Senator Kalwale, and other places. I just wanted to give you the overall policy framework because I didn't come here with specific sub-location location. And as I said, as we prioritize the little money we got, about 200 million, to budget for this financial year, we will see which ones have the greatest need. And security is always at the top, and then followed by service delivery, taking services closer to the people. Thank you very much. I thought I sorted it, but if not, it will be sorted. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable CS. Because the CS has very many questions,
the speaker who was on the chair before me had given a guidance on how we do the questions, so I'll call Senator Kathy Muma to read out her questions to the CS.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, CS, and welcome to the Senate once more again. CS, I have read through the answers you've given to my questions, which I will read. I have a challenge around two of those questions, looking at your answers. But let me read the questions first, and then I can indicate my challenges. The first question, Madam Speaker, I rise pursuant to Order 51 to ask the CS Interior the following questions. One, could the Cabinet Secretary appraise the Senate of the following? One, the ratio of male to female officers across the various cadres of the former provincial administration, including village elders, assistant chiefs, chiefs, deputy county commissioners, and regional commissioners, providing a breakdown of the numbers by county. Number two, the number of male and female police officers, including their distribution across different ranks and counties. Number three, whether the ministry has any policy or internal operational framework to guide the integration of gender in its functions, including in the provision of security, ensuring protection from all forms of violence. And four,
Senator Kathy Muma, which question are you taking?
I'm reading my question. Speaker, just give me a few minutes. I will actually get back to. I will explain myself.
Senator Kathy, can you give me the number of the question you are reading out to the CS? Is question number?
I don't know. It is the Secretariat who actually numbers the questions.
Why?
Now, the reason
Why I'm asking that is because I have two questions from you. Question number 51 and question number 121, and both of them are not related to the issues you are reading now. Do you want to stand down your question first, you clarify? Because the questions before me are different. So you might, the CS
I've even been guided by... As Honorable Speaker,
can you check the order paper and see the questions that are before the House today? Question number 51 and question number 121. So that you could read out a question which the CS may not even have an answer on it or was not coming to respond to that question today. The framing of the question is very different on the order paper.
I'm reading question number 51. And Speaker, allow me to explain myself.
Okay, proceed with the revised and approved question as per the order paper number 51.
Speaker, allow me to please state my case. Either the Secretariat or the team of the CS altered the question. That's why I'm reading the question that I actually submitted. And let me finish fast, and then you can make your ruling.
Senator Muma, then abandon that question for now. You sort out with the Secretariat and go to question number 121. Do your second question, then sort out.
Allow me to actually state what I need to state, because I have been given answers.
I've given you direction, Honorable Senator. Go to question number 121 sort out the revised edition of approved question number 51, the one which is in my order paper. Please go to question.
I submitted this in March, and if questions are distorted without members being told, at least allow to discuss it, and then you can make your ruling. That is what I'm trying to hear. And the question was absolutely important.
I heard you, you are out of order. If you are not proceeding to question number 121 first.
Moving on to question number 121.
Yes.
Compensated by the government from 2007 to date, with particular reference to those affected during the 2007-2008 post-election violence and the 2013, 2017, 2023 and 2024 protests. Question number 2. Could the Cabinet Secretary indicate the statutory or policy framework that was used by government to effect each compensation, as well as the source of funding for the payment? Cabinet Secretary provide per county a breakdown of beneficiaries along with the details of where they were resettled. Number 4, could the Cabinet Secretary also indicate whether money from the Victim Protection Trust Fund has been used to compensate any victims of political violence and protests since the enactment of the Victim Act Cap 79A in 2014? And if so, can he also provide per county the breakdown of the compensated persons along with the amounts received by each individual, and if not, explain why?